Michael, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I did mine on Walt's Perseverance. So basically, just shortening it all up right at the beginning, it's basically how he pushed for his dreams. He went for his dreams even though people told him that it's not a good idea. Walt persevered through many challenges in his life. Whether it came from family or others, he found a way to reach his goals and grow one of the biggest companies in history. He pushed through the hardships and succeeded no matter the cost to him. For his childhood, he was beat every day by his father. They were known as corrective beatings, and he found escape from that by doing drawings. So he would draw little characters, and he would draw like the horses from his neighbors. He would make them into actual characters, into stories. He dropped out of high school when he was 16 because he wanted to join the military and go into World War I. But he got turned down and later got a job with the Red Cross in France as an ambulance driver. He came back and worked at Film Ad Company, which is in Kansas City, Missouri, which primarily focused on animated advertisements before films. So that was like the ads and stuff you saw before any film you see now. Disney was almost never the business we knew of today. It had many problems having enough money to create his animations, was one of the biggest. He started working out of his garage while he was working at that other company. He was working out of his garage while he was working at the Film Ad Company, and he ended up having to sell his home, and he ended up living in his office at the Film Ad Company, actually, and living off baked beans. So these were all problems that most people would have given up, but he proceeded to push forward because he had a bigger dream in mind. Many of his early films flopped, like Pinocchio. Pinocchio was like one of his worst films when it first came out. Because at first Disney was known for shorts, and this was like one of the first early films that he did for animation, and it didn't go over very well, but later became a classic as we know today. The next biggest one is Snow White. This is one of his biggest problems that he had because this was his very first animated film. It was a huge shot in the dark because nobody's ever done an animated film before. Many people believe that this was going to be the end of Disney because no one has ever had an animated film before. So because, like I said, he was known for his animated shorts before films, not the whole film, and literally bet everything, his studio and home, into making Snow White. He wanted a different sort of animation, so he would bring in like actual dancers, and they would film the dancers, and then the artist would go through and frame by frame and draw each part of the film so that it looked more realistic and not cartoonish, like having like windmill legs or something when they're running. And last but not least, the parks. Disney took another shot and wanted to make an amusement park where everybody was happy because he had such a rough childhood with his father, and he wanted somewhere where everybody could be happy. So he came up with the idea of Disneyland, and he later wanted to create a ski resort as well, but that turned out to be Disney World. So, and that's it.
Thank you, Michael. Questions? Yes.
What do you think was his biggest motivator?
I think just his imagination, because he had so many great ideas in his head that he wanted to get it all out there. He wanted people to see.
So you said a lot of his early stuff flopped, right?
Yeah.
Like Pinocchio. What do you think was the difference in going from such an unsuccessful film success story to a really good one?
I don't know really. Like he was known for his shorts, and nobody's ever really done animated things like you see nowadays. Like you see like Frozen and Moana and everything. It's all animated. And before it wasn't like that. It was all realistic, real people doing things. So it was just different seeing animations. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael. Is that your back?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could do that. Guess not. Hallie, you're next. Come on.